You've done lots of cool things. I've had Mark Park. I've had Elsa Garza. I've had Bill Maws. I've had. I go, you want to come draw with me? I'm not very good, but I will have fun. And that's literally. And honestly, um, it's. I am nothing but flattered. Like I. So I'll talk about like the honest thing is I realized something very important when I started this because it just terrified me when I started, right? Because it's like, what if it's not good? And then I had this really wonderful thought: who cares if it's not good? Just have fun. And that's all I've been doing is I've just been having fun. I've enjoyed my progress. I know I'm a lot better than when I started, but I would be lying. I would be lying to you if I thought I was like where I wanted to be. I'm not. I'm not even close to that yet. I'm just. But
No, I'm still not. No matter what I do, I'm still not. I'm still not anywhere near where I want to be.
Yeah.
You know,
So I mean,
that's just what an artist does. You know, he always progresses. He always has to progress. If he does not, then he's not really an artist. But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So no, I mean that there's a lot of truth in what you're saying there, but like that's this whole. I should send you the draft of the story I am working on because honest to God, it's done. Like the first draft's done. The fact that I've learned to illustrate in the last 4 months has heavily influenced this book because first off, I'm actually going to be drawing like sequentials. I'm using again stuff I know that's within my wheelhouse to do. And we'll be doing that like for the first time ever in this book. It terrifies me in like all the like wonderful best ways, but it's just like, you mean you gotta push yourself. You're not doing that. And like I said, the people that have come here on this show to just draw with me, it's been like, wow, like that's all I can really say is wow, right? And that's
man.
Yeah,
man.
So you're going to me, hey, listen, show me a pointer. Excellent. I saved me some time. Everybody has taught me something like Anvu taught me how to do hands. Like it showed me how to break down hands. It was like, oh my god, that's brilliant. I don't feel like that. Bill has shown me a little bit about figures, but I mean, I honestly like what I honestly need, and I know this for this is I need to get one of those anatomy books and actually really do some of the stuff in there to really get comfortable with it because that's anatomy is gonna I think kick my ass probably until I have a lot more practice with it. So
you'll get it. Yeah. If you keep going at it, you'll get it at some point. You know, it took me quite some time before I quote unquote nailed it, which I still have yet to nail it completely. You know, it is what it is. As long as you put out the art that A, you're proud of, and B, you feel like it can stand on its own, you should be okay. So yes. I'm excited for your book. I am gonna check it out on Amazon. I should be able to get like a Kindle thingy. I'll get the Kindle version if it means anything.
Yeah, no, that's totally what it means. That's all I had for the time being. Yeah, like I said, I can't say too much. You know why? Like that's a really cool thing. I'm now stuck now, but now I'm stuck in that format. I can't. My initial plan was to evolve the story into a full prose book with some cool illustrations. But because of what happened, I'm like, I think I'm stuck doing it as poetry for the rest of the time, which isn't really a bad thing. It's just one of those things where it's just I
think you can probably take the poetry and have it in chapters.
Yes.
You can take the poetry and put it into chapters of a story that has like a rhythmic tone to it. I mean,
yeah.
You're more than capable of that. That's easy.
Absolutely.
That's easy for you. Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. No, it's all good. So I am going to be working on X-Men because I've never done X-Men yet, and I figure it's like you got to at least give it a crack at the X-Men at some point.
Which one are you gonna do?
I'm going to try Storm. I'm going to try Storm. Yeah, I'm going to try Storm.
All right, Storm's good.
Yeah, I'm gonna try Storm. I like I said, I'm not gonna lie. I like boobs still kind of kick my ass with women, but I'm working on it. Right? It's just like I never thought like that would be the thing that would be my undoing. It's like wow, this is harder than it looks.
It is harder than it looks. No, it's always harder than it looks. It is. No matter what. No matter what artist thinks that they know what the hell they're doing, trust me, trust and verify. It's not an easy thing to do. I'm still trying to get this camera the right way. I lean opposite from what I actually am. It's odd, but that's cool. I can't wait to see I can't wait to see how your Storm is going to progress. Yeah. I will be inking the cover to the second chapter of my graphic novel, The Incantessi, which its Kickstarter will begin, I believe, in either mid or late June, depending on how I feel about it. Because I mean, I'm almost the rate that I've gotten the pages done for the second issue is far greater than the first one. And
really,
yeah, well, I'm doing like a page. I'm doing a page a day. Like I'm doing a page a day easily. And there was yes, a couple of days ago. Oh my god. A couple of days ago, I did 4. So, yeah, I'm a little nuts. Yeah, I know. I'll show them to you. I'm sorry, I just had a notification. It wasn't a bug. I had to. I'll show you after this whole thing is over. I'll send you all the snapshots that I have of the pages that I have. I have 34 done out of possible. It's either going to be 52 or 56 pages. It's going to be a little bit more because in the story, I'm doing a prologue and an epilogue.
Oh, okay.
You know, I'm bookending it, and it has something to do with the origin of the Incantessi. So it's going to be nice. It's going to go over the next 3 chapters that are remaining. So, yeah, it's going to be nice. It's going to be nice. And would it be okay if I sent you a plot summary of what I'm going to do for chapter 3? I really want to see what you think because
I can totally help
so far so good.
Yeah. So hello, hello, Ravnos Loki. How are you doing, man? Welcome to the show.
Yeah, whoever's there, hi.
This is Rich. Rich is
hi. I can't see any comments yet. Yeah.
It might just be mine for some strange reason. I don't know. Like I said, I usually use Restream, not StreamYard, but so.
I'm so sorry. I don't know what was going on with my phone. I apologize.
It's okay. Dude. We're here. It's all that really matters is we're here and we're going to do our thing. Right?
I'm going to turn the camera around so it can be facing the artwork and stuff. Is that okay?
Yeah, totally. Go right ahead.
All right, give me 1 second. Wait, no. Cam mic. All right, give me a sec. Yeah, all right. No one needs to see my ugly mug. Thank you, no. Okay, here we are. Let's go out of there. Yep. Okay, now I have to strategically place it over the art. And thankfully I have this on landscape. And for everybody in the audience, this is going to be the cover for chapter 2.
Yes, it is.
Look at that, man. Look at that insanity. Woo!
It's awesome.
Yeah, man. I drew this live a few days ago. I had so much fun doing it. I'm telling you, it was just amazing.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah, man. It was just so dope. But yeah, here we are on this one. Give me a sec. I was going to play a little jazz music in the background.
No worries. You can do that.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Because I've for the last 2-3 live shows, I've been listening to jazz instead of pumping epic music I'm in the middle of a Michael Bay movie or something. So
that's okay. No, I'm a big sucker for a musician of yours that plays over there that does a lot of really cool jazz, and that's Diane Birch. She's really good. I really like her.
I've heard of Diane Birch. Unfortunately, I probably even heard something that she's composed, but knowing me, I wouldn't know it if it slapped me in the face. All right, so you're starting now?
Oh yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. I have the whole line in the bottom.
For anybody who's asking, what I am doing right now is I am inking this page, and I am using a Winsor Newton Series 7 number 2 natural sable brush, and I use this throughout my time at Marvel. I was hired mostly for my inking talent, and what this is really just essentially just applying Black India ink over the pencil line, because with the pencil line, it gets really fuzzy if you try and print it. If you add a black line to it, it has a nice solid effect to it, and depending on if you ink it a certain way, you could take a 2-dimensional drawing and give a 3-dimensional pop, and it looks like it's coming off the page. If you do it the right way, it's absolutely spectacular, and that's what I trained myself to do, and that's what I did at Marvel for quite some time, about 10 years. So it's some fun stuff, and this is what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'll show you how to do this, too. This is actually, it's not so much easy, but it's easy to learn and it's easy to follow through.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
This is
No. Like I said, it's really cool that people want to come on the show and actually want to draw on my show. It's always fun. It's a cool little. It was an idea I had for a long time to actually bring artists to come draw, but when you're doing just an audio show, right, it doesn't have the same like effect. But now that I'm actually doing a lot more, like I've been doing video now for almost 100 episodes already, which is kind of like crazy when you think about that. So I've been learning and growing pretty quickly.
Your show is really, really good. You have the way you are. I mean, you definitely you're very inquisitive, and you want to learn about the person as well as what they do, as well as you let the person just open their big yaps like mine, and you just let them talk.
Yeah.
And you're giving a forum to a whole bunch of artists who may or may not have that type of forum yet, and it's truly appreciated what you do for everybody, and that's the God's honest truth, man.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
And I'm honored that you. I mean, you say that you're honored that anybody would show up on your show. I'm honored that you would have me. Thank you. Thank you.
It's that strange moment when you realize people have paid attention to what you do, and you don't expect it. Like my social media has doubled in a year. Like it's literally doubled. And
nice.
Yeah, but I've not changed anything I've done. I've just this is what I've always done, right? And so I went from when the pandemic started, I had 900 followers on my Facebook. I had about 2,000 people on my Twitter, and I had nobody on my LinkedIn. Now I'm at almost 1,000 people on my LinkedIn. I'm at 3,500 people on my Twitter, and I'm at almost 2,000 people on my Facebook. So it's like, I don't know what I've done, but I did good, I guess. Right? So
good for you, man. Good for you. Well, you're giving you're giving artists a voice that we may or may not have that we have not had before, and I mean, I appear a lot on Pops Van Zant's comic related madness and his CromCon. I've appeared on a couple of other shows which are really great, and it's such a wonderful forum because everything that guys like you do, you just bring us out into the open a little bit more. And and it's helped tremendously, especially when it comes to crowdfunding. And it's just it's a wonderful service that you guys that you and others like you are doing. So that's the reason why we're just so that's the reason why that the majority of us, just continuously start following you out of nowhere, and then people who are interested in it, they catch your interview style, and then poof, you got like triple of everything that you had before, which is dope.
Yeah, it's just like I said, it's been an incredible year that way. I wish under better circumstances, all things considered, but I just do what I can in a situation that no one wants to be in. So, that all said, like it's interesting. Like I've learned an awful lot this year, and one of the things that I kind of wish I had thought about doing the show this way, like 6 months ago, because I may not have needed to go back to work. But it's just one of those things where I think the first time you freelance, it's all about learning who you are, and that's kind of what I did and it's kind of what I did in the last year was learn who I am and who I'm not, which is actually a good thing too. I think we all need to go through that phase.
It's a very good thing. Yeah, it's a discovery as you're learning. Much more than just learning in and of itself. Discovering things about yourself while you're learning. That there really is nothing better. I mean, it's like you learn things about yourself when it comes to like deadlines or perseverance, or how dedicated you would be to something. And a lot of times you surprise yourself. I mean, I surprise myself a lot sometimes whenever it comes to doing any type of like freelance work that I'm doing. I do, it's because I'll draw something and then all of a sudden it'll click, and I'll go, how? Well, I did that. I actually did that thing. I can't say that I've fully accepted, the first chapter of my book, and it's just, sometimes it blows my mind. But on an outside viewer, as seeing, like I said before, I've said it before, you have a very natural interview style and people are comfortable with you immediately. So it's not a coincidence that you're flourishing. And that's the truth.
Yeah.
Not a coincidence.
So my favorite chats this year was the last one I posted on the audio, which was an actress by name Nikki Nash. I had her laughing so much. It's like eventually I just read, you know what? I'm just gonna try to make her laugh the whole episode. That was my whole goal.
Nice.
That was my whole goal because she was.
Oops.
Okay, so.
What?
No, I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out Storm. I'm figuring out Storm. First one.
Okay.
There's things I like about it, but there's things I definitely could improve upon, which is is how it goes. Like I said, I just worry about having fun. The rest will just take care of itself, I figure. So
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah. And like I said, and I also realized, like I came to a very, very cool realization. I don't short of meeting the Grim Reaper, I don't think I can be stopped. Not because I'm.
No, you probably can't.
Yeah.
I don't think no one's gonna try and stop you. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I'm not that stupid.
Yeah. Because I realized something really, like, if I'm not afraid of sucking, and this I think that's probably the most important thing is, I'm just having fun doing my thing, and I'm not afraid to show the world. Well, excellent. I'm not sure there's really anything, that can really stop me at that point. It's just about the inevitability of time. I just have to ride it out until I get to that point. So that's
not a question of how; it's just a matter of when.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah.
It's the truth. I mean, proof is in the pudding. I mean, you've doubled your social media contacts and followers in something somewhat less than the span of a year. That's rather impressive.
Mm-hmm.
It's really impressive.
Meeting the right people at the right place at the right time. That's all I'm doing. And like I said, now I mean I gotta get my shit together because I promised myself 1 year. And then I was going to go back. From my current situation to get back into the real world a little bit, or something about that effect. But also just to reinvest. Like I like, again, looking at the stuff that can get in my way. I recognize the fact that, you know what, I need to invest in myself. And that it's just the truth. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to invest in myself for about a year or two to get to the things I really want to get to. And when I do that, I'll have more books out. I'll have a lot more books out, and we'll just see where it happens. Like I realize that I just all you really have to do, the hardest thing in life is just letting yourself let go, do things. Once you do that, right, nothing really can stop you. Right. You might not go the way you planned. In fact, it almost certainly will not. But that's okay. Sometimes it actually goes better than what you planned too.
Yeah, there are times when the things that you least expect actually happens, and it turns out to be one hell of a benefit, whether you realize it or not. Or it's like one of those, serendipity things, or a butterfly effect.
Mm-hmm.
Like one thing happens, and then all of a sudden it leads to a whole bunch of other things as a result of that one incident. So whatever goes on, man. One thing I do know, about you is that I'm fully confident that you are gonna absolutely achieve the heights that you feel like you will get, and most likely, probably a little bit more. I mean, I'm no soothsayer or anything, but just like you mentioned before, everything you're doing so far is correct.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. So there's never a moment where you should ever worry about that at all.
No,
I'm sure you're not worried about it. Period. So
it's just you live and learn. It's not bad for that's not bad for a first one. You want to see it?
Yes, I'd love to.
Yeah, it's not. It's my first attempt, but it's like, here we go. Let's see.
Ta-da! Nice boobs.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Yeah.
It's better than what you showed me the first time.
Yes.
You have improved. That's the main thing. You've
Yeah.
definitely improved on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel you have.
Yeah. It's just it's a process. Like I said, I know. Like I said, for me, anatomy is gonna kick my butt for a little while yet, but it's okay. It's again. It's this is for me. Illustration is just about growing growth for myself in a whole bunch of different ways, right?
Yes,
So
absolutely.
it's made my other stuff better. I actually encourage anybody else to do like different disciplines because it's almost like you learn different languages and to tell stories, which is really really cool. So let's do round
How many
number.
people? I don't know how many people are watching. How many people do you have in your audience now?
Right now, just the one because unfortunately I can't go on Facebook with my StreamYard. That was the only downside going this route. But people will watch it post. I've been getting a lot more people watching post stream especially on Twitch. Like Twitch, I've grown quite a bit there. So
yeah, I am really sorry.
No, it's okay. Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad.
Shit
look, dude. So we have an on. Hey, listen. Doesn't matter how big your audience is. It's your audience, right? And you make the most of it for your. And the fact of the matter is, right? It is what it is. Shit happens. We're still gonna have a good time, right?
Oh,
right. We're still gonna have a good time. And you know what? And I look at it like this. It's gonna translate. Yesterday I set a record. Like last night, my last night's guest on. I was a streamer, friend of mine I knew. Like I had 10 people from just Twitch, which is a first for me. Like this is a different community I've been growing in too, and it's been a blast. I honestly wish. Comic book fandom is one of the only fandoms that has the passion the video game community has. They are incredible, man.
Nice.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I look at the writing communities, and I'm looking at like honestly, we all could use a little bit more of that passion because it would make us because the more vocal and excited we are, excitement's contagious. I've learned this about the people, like about things, is the more excited you are about something, right? It like what I love about your live stuff when I see it is it don't like it don't matter. You're into it. Like you love what you're doing, and that's the part that makes it good.
Right? Oh yeah, absolutely. Right? I had a lot of fun last night. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it was pretty rip roaring. I was 2 nights ago. I was drawing the last commission for the Kickstarter, and I had at that point about 14 people, I think. Yeah, it was just fun. It was profane. It was inebriated. It was really cool. It was inebriated. It was really fun. It was cheeky. It was some of it was filthy, which I thought was great. I'm like, yeah, all right, let's lay it down. Let's do this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's like, right? I'm sorry.
It was just as authentically you as you could be, right?
Well, yeah. I'm a foul mouth bastard a lot most of the time. I'll be honest with you. You know, I really am sometimes NSFW. You know, I'm not safe for work. You know, a lot. You know, the only thing I don't do is like show parts of me that are naked. You know, so it's like, you know, that would be my OnlyFans account. You know, if I ever had one. I'll do this in my OnlyFans account, and I'll make sure that I center it around. I don't know. You know, bears or something like that. You know, I'm like, yeah, let's do this. Let's go. Let's do this, man. All right, shave my back. Ha You know, I'll have like the sex. I have the sex right now. I have the sex appeal of Bert Kreischer, so you know that means none at all. So, yeah, man, I have so much fun, and you know, there's so much animation with it, and so much happiness and joy and utter stupidity. Like I had a bunch. I had a yesterday when I was inking the piece that I did 2 days ago. I had a couple of friends who are creators in their own right, doing their stuff, and we were just having a blast.
Oh, sure.
We were just having a friggin' blast. It's like everything, man, and it's really cool when you have stuff like this because the different personalities that interact, and the shit that comes out of everybody's mouth after a while. It's just like, oh my god, it's like come on.
It's like, what are we? Like
I'm sorry.
12? It's like what are we, like 12? Like
easily. Yeah, right. Definitely. Even the guys who are older than me are like, they act like they're 15 or something.
Oh, totally.
God.
I sometimes when I'm teaching stuff, I go, wait, when did I become the adult in this room? Oh shit, I'm the adult. We're fucked.
Yeah, that scares the shit out of me. If I'm the adult in the room, I'm like, oh wow, all right, I'm supposed to be the immature one, and it's not like it's a badge of courage or badge of honor. I'm like,
oh yeah.
There were times when I have personality flaws, and I'm like, wait, holy shit, these people are pretty bad. What the hell did I do? I'm like, what the fuck happened? It's like, did I just step into like yet another parallel universe where I'm actually cool? Like, oh my god, so.
Yeah, it's like what happened here? What did I do? And then you just realize like everybody, there's time and place for everything. I guess I have to be adult. And then you're like, God damn it, I'm the adult.
Man, I needed something of like a day of comedy because there was a friend of mine who did something that is like the biggest pet peeve of my entire life. I'm not going to say who did it.
Okay.
But I will tell you that it's really the biggest pet peeve that I cannot stand. Well, it's not even so much that I'm quote unquote famous or or whatever it is or connected. I'm not really connected or famous or whatnot. Even if I was, it wouldn't make a difference to me who I am or not. But this person asked me if I wanted to collaborate with someone they were dating.
Oh God!
And because that person is like, well, he saw your graphic novel and he really thought it was good, and he would think that it would really benefit him or something along those lines if you drew his graphic novel.
Sure would.
And I'm like, oh really? And then the person describes to me this said graphic novel, and I'm just like, yeah, I am not pleased with that, but I will tell you. But instead of like getting angry, I told this person exactly what it would entail. Mm-hmm. And let's just say that I didn't hear from that person's romantic partner anymore. Like, period.
Oh no! Like one of the things about what anybody does in this industry, whether you're writing or you're drawing or you're doing any of that stuff, is you have a tendency to. We have a tendency to be taken for granted. It's like, hell, anyone can do it. So there's, ultimately there is some truth to that. Anyone can do this, but you're asking me to do this. If you're asking me to do this, respect my time. If nothing else, respect my time, right? Yeah, and exactly. And people don't get that when
some of them don't. Some people don't, and it surprises me because. It surprises me because it's just that it's like, if we're all in a creative life, most people that I do know are in a creative life one way or the other. Mm-hmm. And it's just, no matter what it is, it's just, when you're in a creative life and you're doing something like this, it takes time. Mm-hmm. Now, for the stuff that when I worked at Marvel, when I worked at DC, when I did all that other stuff, it's not because, I was handed the keys to the castle. It was, hey man, here's a portfolio that you need to do. Now do it. And, it looks okay, but this could work a little bit more. Do that same portfolio in half the time. And that happened to me 3 times. That's how I got the job at Marvel. But I had to really kill myself and eat a lot of crow in order to get to a position where I was.
Oh, yeah.
And even then, even when you're in a position where you're doing really well, you still get a little bit of a feeling of like, walking on like eggshells or running on ice, because it's like, Not so much that you could be replaced, but you could be replaced.
Oh, well, it's
You know?
well. I've said this. I've said this on other interviews I've done with people. Like getting to a big place is very, very cool, but a lot of artists need to understand something too. Is that you have a shelf life there. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not. They believe you can do a job, which is true. You can do a job,
Yeah.
right? And not a problem at all. But the fact of the matter is, right? And if you're good at it, they will keep you for a while. But
Yeah.
inevitably, your time's going to come up. Doesn't matter who
Yeah.
you are. Doesn't matter how good you are. I mean, and and honestly, it does everybody some good. It does them good because they get a new, because you need new voices you do need new voices all the time to do stuff. You just
Yeah.
do, right?
Well, not just that. I mean, it just creates that thing where it's just, this is all I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I mean, my mother and my mother, especially my mother, you know, the only thing that she did, I mean, she did absolutely nothing creative. So I don't know how the hell I was hatched out of her, but it's like, no, for about 30 years, all she ever did every day was work for AIG, type in some stuff on an Excel spreadsheet. Not that I'm demeaning that type of work, but it's just that it's like, this is what you did every day for 30 years.
Yeah.
You go in, you type some stuff, some numbers into an Excel spreadsheet, take an elevator 10 flights down, walk 2 flights of escalator stairs to go outside and smoke a cigarette, and then come back up and do the same thing an hour later.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy shit, that's all you do? You know, it's like, you know, and there could be an argument that, is drawing every day all you do? And I go, well, yeah, but the point is that there's never a drawing that I do twice.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like there's always a variety of something that's out there. You know, whatever I'm asked to do or whatever I'm hired to do and whatnot, you know, it's there. And it's always something new. It's always a new direction. It's always something that I've never done before. And it's always going to be that. No matter what I do, there's always going to be that challenge of like, holy shit, I got to get this right. And I need to.
Yeah. Well, see, here's the thing. So always look at what you have in common. That's what I always say. So your mom and you have one thing in common. You're both problem solvers. It's the problems you solve that are different. For example, you tell stories. No matter a lot of people will say illustrators are doing story too. They're doing it in their own language. So you are trying to figure out the best way to convey the best form of communication. Cool thing about communication is it's always unique, right? Every conversation is different. Every picture is different. Every story is different. Everything comes with its own unique challenges. If I go to a factory, I'm going to be doing the same thing all the time. Something wrong with that.
I never said there was one.
Yeah. But I'm solving the exact same problem every single day. And the fact of the matter is, right? The fact of the matter is, right? That's where you're different. But where you're the same, where you are the same, is you solve problems. That was what you did. That's what you do. Like you're ultimately, one of the things I coming into this illustration, I realized is like I've been breaking things down and simplifying my shapes as much as possible. Now, some I do some better than others, but that's essentially what I do. So it's like, how do I solve this problem? How do I do this? How do I do that? And what I've learned is, even if I'm trying to do the same image, no two images are the same.
That's true.
Right? No two images are the exact same. I'm drawing the same basic sample of storm I've done. It's not. Again, I see where I got a lot of work still to do, but I also see where I figured some things out. Right? I learned. So when I do yet another, and then the next image I'm going to do with her, I'm going to try something completely different because I've done this image twice, and I need to learn a little bit more about about what I call the language of like who Storm is, and and go from there. And like I said, never be afraid to learn. Never be afraid to look at challenges differently. That's how you get better, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
very true.
So, what did you learn from your Kickstarter? Because you did a
I'm
lot.
sorry?
What did you learn doing your Kickstarter? That's always been my question.
What did I learn during my Kickstarter? That British postage is really expensive.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Now it is. It wasn't so bad before the pandemic, because I was sending packages out to the United States that were like 10 quid, and now it's like 25 quid, which is ridiculous. Really? Did you get yours yet?
Not yet.
Okay, it's definitely on the way. It's on the way. That's for sure. I sent it out. It's on the way.
Yeah. Oh, I'll grab it. Like I said, for me, I can't wait to actually see it physically in person. It's gonna be great to look at, right? I can't wait. I've read it. I liked it, and like I said, that's a very nice review of First Comics. It was definitely fun. It was a good book, and but I mean, did you enjoy the whole crowdfunding process? Like, was that fun for you?
Yes, I did. I actually did. It was I loved it, as a matter of fact, because of the it fortified my love for this project.
Mm-hmm.
It fortified it quite a bit, because I realized that once I started once I activated the Kickstarter, I mean, I know nothing terrifying would happen in case it wasn't funded, but I wanted it to be funded. I wanted to get it taken care of, and I'm like, yes, I have to have this done, because I put a lot of work into this damn thing. Oh, yeah. And I put quite a bit of work, and I had last year I had cancer, and I was doing the first issue. I was taking care of the first issue while I had cancer, and it was like I didn't bust my ass on this to all of a sudden just not make it work. So the amount of work I put into the marketing and the promotion of it was just as great, or if I can say greater, I could say greater in a different fashion than it was just creating the damn thing. It's because it's like it made me, it forced me into areas which I was not comfortable with initially, and I learned a lot of stuff pertaining to this. And this whole thing is a huge blessing for me, and I've learned quite a bit. And for the next Kickstarter, it's going to be, at the very least, it's going to be far more efficient than what it was when the first one ended. And it's still pretty good, because I was, from what I understand, I think the deadline that everything was going to go out was May. Is going to be May, and I've already sent out 80% of the packages already.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, I should make the May deadline. I mean, I've already posted on Kickstarter in a mass email saying it's like because of what's happened with the post office, there may be a delay with some of the larger packages that are coming out. And I made sure that I contacted each one of them. I'm like, look, it has nothing to do with whatever it is. It just is what it is. And thankfully, everybody's been very, very understanding.
It's normal for a Kickstarter, to be, if it's a little late, it's like Kickstarter, because of the nature of the volatile nature of the fact that you are not a multi-billion-dollar company.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. One day. But because you're not a multi-billion-dollar company, you have the ability to you'll get away with a lot more. You get a lot more leeway, right? As long as people know what you're doing, as long as people see that there's an effort, you get a pass. Like, you always will get a pass with.
Thank you. No, you are, as usual. You are correct, and that is true. And so thankfully, I've been very, very. I hate that word. I've been fortunate that the people that have backed my project on a larger scale have been very. I hate that fucking word. have been patient with me when it comes to what's going on, especially like some of the larger ones where it's, someone bought a commission and then like bought the cover to issue 1. So I'm like, oh my God, but they also that person also asked for, what did that person ask for? That person asked for a hard and soft cover to go with it. So I'm like, wow, okay, this is going to take a little bit, but so far so good. I'm pleased with what's happened.
Yeah.
And the second, I've because of what I've learned also, I've decided that I'm going to streamline my Kickstarter based on the demographic and the audience and the location of said audience. Because for this Kickstarter, just a slightly bit more than half my audience was from the United States. But I have an audience from what was I going to say? I have an audience from Britain, France, Switzerland, the Netherlands. So far, Canada. It's a bunch of Canadian people have ordered my stuff. I don't know why. But anyway, I'm talking right now, which I'm thankful for.
Yes.
Oh, you put me on widescreen. Wow,
yes,
I feel so honored.
Yes.
This is how I'm inking the cover. Look how nasty, yummy that is. Ugh! Oh my God, I almost don't want to sell it. This is going to be. I don't. It's almost like I don't. This is going to be a Kickstarter reward.
See. Here's the thing about what you do. That's really, really cool.
What?
See, so one of my favorite like book stories. I'm a big book guy. I found like these old Edgar Rice Burroughs westerns in this Detroit used bookstore, right? Comic book shop / used bookstore. So the owner of the show is like, you like Burroughs? I'm like, yeah, I do. Like, and then it was like a very sweet, like, I really, really love this.
Mm-hmm.
There's an evil business side to this, and I'm being very facetious when I say that. But the evil part is, you guys know it's good stuff, so you're like, I don't want to part with this, but I will for this price. To which we're all like, because it's good. Like everybody, like no one. See, it's like this. You want your stuff to be appreciated. See.
That is true.
That's what comes down to. Like people think price point is just about like price, getting as much as you can. What up, Lordy? I am JB. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Yeah. So, so you put a lot. Like let's be honest. You put an incredible amount of effort into what you do. Like you do.
I try.
Yeah. So now, like a guy like me, I would appreciate your work, but right this minute, I can't afford like a print for what it's worth. I just can't.
Oh, I'm not asking. That's fine. I mean, when I use this as a reward or anything, if anybody picks it up, it's because there's nothing personal that I feel if no one wants to purchase this. I mean, I'm only using it to fund the printing of the book.
Yeah, but let me finish my point because
I'm sorry.
Let me finish my point. See, it's a win-win for you. Hi, Mike Jimmy. Nice to see you. And yes, he is looking good. It is looking good. Like Rich is incredible. But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. You win either way. Either someone's going to pay you what and appreciate your work, which is what you want more than anything else. Or plan B, right? Plan B, you'll appreciate your work because you busted your ass to make it. It's a win-win for you, right? You made a beautiful thing you're proud of.
It is. Right? It is. Yes, I am. I'm very proud of. I'm proud of this particular cover. Yes, I have to admit, I am. Because a lot of times, for a cover, a lot of times for a cover, you struggle with it because it's really like the whole get it right the first time thing.
Yep.
It's like this is the image that you're going to have, and this is the image that is going to represent the interior of the book, because the cover is supposed to be a preamble of what the story what the interiors are all about, and you want to make sure that you get that correctly. You know, and that's the one thing you want to do more than anything in this world is, you know, make sure that you're doing it right.
Oh yeah.
And there have been a couple of times where I've worked for companies where a cover I was asked to produce was done, but then for an alternate cover, someone else did the cover on the exterior of the artwork, and it was completely not what it was supposed to be.
Oh sure.
You know, like the cover of the book, the alternate cover, did not in any way fully convey the story that I was trying to convey visually, and that pissed me off because I'm like, why would you do this? This is like the dumbest thing you could do. It's like a complete offset from what I'm doing, and it's a personal thing. And I'm not going to profess that I'm better than any artist. I'm better than some, but not a lot. You know. I'm just going to say it out there. I don't give a rat's ass. You know, I'm a damn good artist. So for me to be like, oh yeah, I think I'm terrible. I'm like, fuck that. I like my praise once in a while. Suck it. That's it. You know, but the point being is just that it's like, you know, I do put a lot of work into this. I do put a lot of that stuff into the story, and it's just as a result of that, you know, if all of a sudden it's like, oh, we're going to use this as an alternate cover, and then I see it, and I'm like, I would be insulted if I wiped my ass with it. Are you kidding? I'm just like, what's wrong with you? You know, I was just like, you gotta be shitting me. I was furious. I was like, you gotta be kidding me, because it's like I put all my heart and soul into it. You know, whatever the hell I do, and then someone else's work is there. And when you have an alternate cover, more often than not, it's like you're gonna, when someone picks up a book, like let's say John Byrne or George Perez did the damn cover of the book, you know, and then all of a sudden it's a penciler that was working for that got lucky out of school for like a minute and like did one issue and that was it. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna get a John Byrne issue, and then all of a sudden, poof! It's like, who the hell's this guy? You know, or you know, whatever.
Yeah.
It's disappointing. It's disappointing, and it's misleading. And I'm just like, nah. If you're gonna do an alternate cover, you got to do a cover with the artist who does the interiors. That goes for anybody.
Yeah.
You know, I've never done, and I don't think I don't think I have. I don't think I've ever done an alternate cover for anybody. You know, because it's like I can't do that. It's like even if my work is not nearly as good as the guy who does the interior pages, I'm just like, what? I mean, that's like an affront to an artist who does his work on the inside, and I'm just like, no, I can't do that. I don't have the capacity to want to do that. It's not me. And I'm sure as hell wouldn't want anybody who sucks on the cover of the stuff that I'm doing that's going to kick ass. You know, it's like, no, I'm sorry, man. I'm like, no. You know, so that's great.
I get it. It's just one of those situations where, you know, I kind of see. It's an interesting problem. I think. Here's what I think. I think that companies don't always have the same agenda of telling that great story that you do, and that's and I'm gonna play devil's advocate for just a second. I get where you're coming from completely, because honestly, I mean, it's you're telling the story correctly. You're doing what's advertised, but every once in a while, right, a little extra gimmick here and there, a little like bonus is good. I don't mind that either. If it's once in a blue moon, fine, whatever, yeah. Right? If it's once in a blue moon, where it gets silly to me is okay, right? At some point, the story has to stand on its own.
Yeah.
And if the story can't stand on its own, and it's all it is there's a comic company. I'm not going to name names because I want to protect my pocketbook, but just because you never know. I like some of their books. I hate their covers. The covers are a lot prettier than some of the interiors I've seen, and 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 so I always feel like with them in particular, I'm getting cheated. Now, I mean, not actually be true. I mean, that their business model, like they know what they're doing. Their business
Yeah.
model is all about those variants and collectibles, and that's a big part of their presentation. But I think they don't do their stories the justice that they deserve either, right? And
Yeah.
that so what tends to happen is I think there's a diminishing return line with that. Like like I'm a big Mod Park fan. I love Mod's work, right? I love that she's doing covers, and I love that she's got. But what I really want to see from Mog is a story from Mog Park, because Mog is just an incredibly gifted storyteller. Much like you, like you're a very good storyteller. I want to see that. Now that all said, right? If someone came to you and said, you know what, it'd be really cool. What if you did a cover for this book? And if it's just a one time deal, once in a while, that's a cool bonus, right? That's just a cool little bonus. But only if it's once in a while, right? Because as you say, there is a point with that's like, hey, listen, I'm not getting what I'm advertised, or even worse, people aren't coming now for the story at all. They're coming for the variant, which you don't want that. You want your property. You want your property to sell on its own merits, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Well, that's how I've been. That's how I feel. I mean, because it's I would be very uncomfortable, especially if I knew the person who was doing the interiors. I would be very uncomfortable doing an alternate cover because me and this other artist would have different rendering abilities. We have different patterns of way we do things. I mean, it's clearly evident, and I mean, because of that, it besmirches the work on the inside. Because the one thing that I want to do, that I would want more than anything else, if I was running a company, I'm like, go ahead, you got to do the cover. We're not doing like substitute covers, because that's the book. I mean, if I start a company, let's just say, argument's sake, I start a company doing that, and I have a guy who's doing the interior art and all that stuff. If I'm if I'm starting a company like that, I want the artist who's doing it to flourish as much as possible, because
sure.
I hired him for a reason, and I didn't hire him so he could do a little bit, most of the work and not all of it, and then have someone else, either A, take the credit for themselves, or B, take away the credit that the artist of the interior art deserves.
So Lordium JB said, always include a cover of the interior artist as well. Variants can go to other creators, but the main thing should be the main artist. I agree with his statement there. I think a variant, like for example, I come up, like I have this plan to do a comic where I draw terribly, and my main character makes fun of me. It's gonna be fun when I really start working on that, right?
Yes, sir.
But it'd be really cool. I might go to you. Hey, Rich, you want to have fun drawing a cartoon dragon making fun of your art? They'd be like, that sounds cool, right? That'd be how I pitch it to you, right? Now, I still would do a cover for that, right? But I also would love to see like there is, like, this is me playing devil's advocate, right? There is value of seeing a Rich Perotta say, hey, I've never seen Rich Perotta do a comedy piece before. Let's see what he does when he does a pure comedy piece, right? Right? That'd be kind of like as a draw. Now, yeah, I could get you maybe to do one. Now, if I come to you another month and say, okay, I want you to do another one, that's when it gets a little dicey. Because because at that point it's like, okay, the gimmick's kind of exhausted itself. And yeah, you did a great job. But now it's no longer about me pushing my story. It's now about me. It's not just the fact that I'm just getting you to do the covers. And there's a very, very fine line. I think a variant here and there, carefully placed, is actually really cool, right? But I also think that your work can't just be a gimmick. There has to be a why should I care moment in there somewhere, somehow, some way. And if there's not, your book's not going to last. Like that's just the way it is. But like I said, as a fun thing, I'd be like, I maybe go to you, or maybe I go to my buddy Riley in Calgary. Hey, do you have time to do a cover where you can make fun of your own art style? And you're like, maybe. What do you have in mind? Right? Because again, now it's just fun. Or I go to Bill Ma's. Hey Bill, you want to do a drawing of a baby dragon mocking your art style? Sure, sounds like fun. It's like, and that could be a, or what I may do at some point is I get better at art. Maybe I do an issue. It's like, where my main character gets drawn by different artists, page at a time, and it tells a story, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, don't worry, Ravenous Loki. It's not this. We're just having fun. Like, yeah. Oh, indie comics do have variant covers because again, there's a business model to it, right? I mentioned Maud Park earlier. She does variant covers for a lot of books, and she's great. Like her art style is amazing.
It sure is.
Right. Yeah. But here's the thing, right? Now, if I buy the book because Mog's doing the cover initially, that's not a bad thing. That's just me finding a cool book out of nowhere. Where the flaw is if I only come for the variant, right? Yeah. The book has to have its own merit, or it won't stick. So I can see both sides of that argument, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No, you always should include a cover by yourself, right? And same with me. If I get to the point, I'm doing sequentials in my next prose book. I'm doing sequentials on the interior. They're going to be based on Twitch streams, and the reason why they're going to be based on Twitch streams is because I can draw an 8-bit video game, right? It doesn't have to look fantastic, right? It just has to look like a story being conveyed there, and I can do like a cool little Twitch stream on the inside, working within my limitations. But I'm doing the cover as well, and because it's like this is my book, like this is literally me being me. There isn't going to be a variant. I'm going to let the book speak for itself. Right, because that's the only way I'm going to get better. I think there's a point, and this is where I agree with you. This is your book. I don't want to see a variant. I don't necessarily want to see a variant cover to the Incontessi here. Right now, I want to see Rich Perotta's Incontessi because it's your story. It's fully and totally yours. And right. I think that's the thing. Yeah, that's kind of where I see. Oh, Steph Wilson does. There are a lot of artists that do great covers, man. Like honestly, Nia Rufino, she's amazing. Like I love what she does. Yeah, I love what she does. I love like I said, Bill Maas. I mentioned him. He's great at what he does. He's fun. Like right. And there's lots of other people that do great variant. And honestly, I'm not against variant covers, but yeah. Steph Wilson should be the reason you discover a book, right? But the book itself has to be the reason you stay there, right? Yeah, and not every variant cover.
Before it's like it's like with if a person, I mean, to me, if a person is just doing covers, I mean, whatever it is, whatever a person does, that's their business. It's not a question of whether I want to tell people, stop doing what you're doing. It's just that to me, it just interferes with what the teller of the story is trying to convey to begin with. Because it's like I said to you before. I mean, unless the person doing the cover art is doing a variance of it, and he has the script, he or she has the script ready in front of them, and what else? And there's if there's something of a peek of the interior arts from the person who's doing the interior art, yes, I mean, for anybody who can do that, who can see what kind of story is unfolding, yes, I can understand that. Mm-hmm. But to me, it's like if you're a fledgling company and you're trying to convey certain stories or something, and you're trying to build an audience on my end, you have to me, I would think that you would want to have the people that you're trying to develop and build something with to have the courage and the ability, to do the damn cover.
Sure.
And to me, because it's like if you're trying to build an audience, well, that's great. I mean, that if you want to, I mean, talking business or something like that, I'm sure Mog Park, with all due respect, I'm sure she is not cheap. I'm sure she carries a rather reasonably decent price tag when it comes to a cover.
Oh, sure.
Okay, that's great. I'm sure she deserves the money. It's not a question of whether she deserves it or not. It's just like, let's say I'm hired to do a cover, and some poor sap decides to pay me more than I'm actually worth. It's like I got like $200 or something like that, or 150 British pounds.
Okay.
But they're paying the interior artist, £50.
Oh,
Okay, you can take that 150 pounds you're going to give me, and pay the interior artist the 50 for the cover, and then take the other 100 that you have left, and either promote it in some way, or like make sure that you pay the colorist and pay the letterer or something.
Well,
at the same time while you're doing that, you promote the stuff that this person is putting out, because you hired him or her for a reason. You hired him or her for a reason, and if you're really courageous and you're really content with the work this person is doing, you should let the person do the whole damn thing. I mean, if you want to have a variant cover after that artist is established, yeah, by all means. At like 6 months or 6 issues, that's great. But if you just start and then all of a sudden it's like, here, look, the variant cover from this person who's known for doing covers and known for doing all this stuff, and that person's a fantastic artist, it takes away from what the interior artist is trying to accomplish to tell that person's story, because they're expecting something else, no matter what it says on the cover, because people respond immediately to imaging.
Oh, it's also the other thing you're not mentioning is also it's now you're not you haven't built your book, right?
Yeah, exactly. You're not building your book. You're not building your book at all. You're building it based on the fact that this is the person who's doing your cover. Yay, get it. It's like, okay, and the person who decides to pick up the variant cover, it's like, wow, I got this, but it's the same story on the inside. Oh no, I'm like, no, look, it's just,
yeah. Like I said, there is a company. I'm not going to name names because again, I like my pocketbook. They actually do decent books. They actually don't do some of their books are actually quite decent, but because of their model, sometimes right, they shortchange the artists in the book, and as a result, you can see it like the person doing the book doesn't get the love that they deserve, and
exactly.
Right. You can see it. It sucks because you can. Again, it's something that I don't have time today to go fully in detail with you on this. One of the big problems with the comic industry I've noticed for the last few years is the bigger companies sometimes have a tendency not to build the name artist, and they need to because it's to everybody's benefit. Because if you build a name, if you put younger you can put like writers, like younger writers, older writers, kind of get their experience up and kind of get them established, right? You can probably do something similar with artists too, but the whole point is at some point you want to establish a reputation for a an artist of some kind on a big book. You have to actually put those artists on a big book. Now you don't start them on Superman or Batman or Spider. You don't put them there, but you put them. You put them on a smaller book, and you let them learn how to tell their stories. Groom them for other books is what you're doing. What I'm saying, you do it, and then suddenly, like John Marino Jr. is the ultimate quintessential Spider-Man artist. Like he's just,
I agree. Well, both of them, both senior and junior. Yeah.
Yeah. They're the quintessential Spider-Man artists. Like period.
I think so. I think so. There have been others that are great, but those guys definitely. I agree.
But they didn't get there. They didn't get there on their own. They did a whole bunch of other stuff too.
Oh yeah.
The storytelling chops and you know that. But again, they were given the time and the effort and the energy. Like bigger companies today, I mean, most of these artists that learn how to tell stories now, they have to cut their teeth as independents. They have to, because there's no other way to cut your teeth anymore. And don't get me wrong, it can be done. And there's lots of great artists that have cut their teeth there, that get into bigger companies and kick all kinds of ass. There's some great people working in DC and Marvel right now. There's some really great people, but there are companies out there that like don't take the time to develop some of the people that are already out there, right? I mentioned like I can mention other really great creators right now that are out in like oh man, the name just totally escapes me. He did they did Wonder Woman with Brian Azzarello. I love their art. It's fantastic.
Wow.
Right?
Oh my God.
You know who I'm talking about, right?
Not really. No, forgive me.
No. But they're doing stuff with Brian. They did stuff with Brian K. Vaughan, like Paper Girls with Brian K. Vaughan, and oh my God, I love their art. Right? Excellent. But I mean, they established that. But you could tell they established themselves a long time ago. And
yeah.
Right. But they were given that opportunity, and I think the danger a lot of smaller companies realize, like, you want to draw eyes to your books. I get that. I totally get that. But you got to be very, very careful that when you do that, that you're making sure that people are staying for your stories. And to do that means you got, like as someone said, like, give the interior artist a cover, give them a story, let them establish, like, show as a company that you trust your creators. Because if you did that, because if you like, again, let's say I do ask you to do that variant someday. Hey, you want to make fun of your own writing, right? Guess what? I'll be doing the same damn thing that month. I'll have a cover myself. I'll be like, here, I'm making fun of mine, right? Right?
It's just like I was, it's like we were both talking about before. It's just, if you're going to hire somebody and you're going to hire that person to do the entire array of interiors in your book, to me, it's like if you hire another person to do the covers, to me, that's the only reason why my book is selling well, or that's the only reason why anybody goes towards the book that I'm working on. It's like because you want to pick up this person's thing, or you want to pick up that person's cover, and it breaks a little bit of morale, because you're like, why am I even doing this? Why don't you hire this other person to do these interiors then, if that's the case, if you're not satisfied with it? And a lot of times from what I've heard, it's like, well, this person can only do covers, and I go, well, okay, I can do covers too, and probably less expensive than this person that you're hiring, who's really a hired gun. Because as a sequential artist for an interior book, and you put, like I said before, you put your heart and soul into it, everything. That's exactly what's happening. You're putting all of your creative energy into that, and then when the first piece of art pertaining to something that you kicked your ass on, is shown to be represented by someone else who simply does not care, is waiting for, like, the freelance check to clear before they even start the damn issue, or before they start the cover. And if that person has some sort of, like, fan base as a result of just doing covers all pretty and stuff, it's like it's taking away, the faith that you're supposed to have in the artist that you hire.
Oh, absolutely.
And if you do that, then eventually, the penciler subconsciously is just going to go, why am I even bothering with this? Or that person may just up and go. I'm sorry?
Yeah. It happens. It happens all the time in a lot of smaller companies, and it's not. And again, it's an interesting. They have to walk a tightrope. that's how I look guys that everything get eyes on your book, right? Which I mean, ultimately, I understand that. Yeah, like that. Ravis Oakley says the same is, but at 10 minus is the point I am. Hiring the gun artists sometimes get the book in people's hands. There's a business. There's a balance. There's a business balancing act there. There just is, right? And you know, and that's totally fine. Like I don't mind that. I don't like again. I can see the value in that. I this is where me and you completely agree. Though it can't just be that, right? Because if you only bring people from the outside all the time, what's going to end up happening is that's what the book's going to be known for, right?
Yeah,
you want
exactly.
People, right? But once in a while, it's cool. It's damn cool.
Once in
right?
a great while, it is cool. Especially, it's once in a great while, it is cool. Especially if the artist for the interior work, builds a kick-ass following, and everybody knows that this person is the person who's going to still do the interior artwork. It's like it's a huge difference if the person is on their first issue or on their 30th issue.
Yep.
Or whatever it might be.
Well,
I mean,
no,
if
like when
it was me, I'm sorry. Go ahead, you first.
Yeah, when you get your own follow, like I was just saying, I was going to echo it. Like when the person has a following themselves, it definitely helps. I do like I said, I can see the value initially of having someone to draw you in. Like there's a balancing act there. But that all said, right? In your particular case, this is your book. Like this is totally your book. And
no one is touching this. This is me. And anybody else?
No one's ever going to touch this book. And
no. This is mine.
Yeah, totally. Like I get it. Like I totally get it. Like you're coming from a you're coming from that. You're coming from that. Like this is it. You're confident in your abilities, and you do pretty. And again, you make beautiful things. You really, really do, man. And so,
well, thank you.
Yeah, and because of that, like I mean, yeah, I can't. I couldn't see anybody else come in and do it. Right?
No.
I just couldn't. Right? And I just like that. But again, this is also like I feel this too. This book is very near and dear to you. Right?
Yeah.
Right. And because this book is very near and dear to you, the idea that someone else can come and do it, it makes you kind of ill on the inside. It's like, nah, this is mine. This is my story to tell. This is my book, right? Now,
yeah,
with one exception, I think it'd be neat if Sophia herself did something on the even if it's just a small interior, that would be cool. But that would be like that. But that's a bonus. This is your story. This is your baby. And honest to God, in your case in particular, I couldn't see anybody else even try. Right. And nor do I feel that it should be tried in your case because this is yours. Like this is totally yours.
For me, Sophia is Sophia has already added enough. I mean, she does. I talk with her quite a bit about how the book looks. I mean, not just to get any type of like opinion or like praise or whatnot and everything, but because she's an actress and she tells a story differently than I do.
Mm-hmm.
But what I rely on her every once in a while, if she decides that she wants to answer the question, she's not obliged to. Mm-hmm. But I ask her sometimes about, once in a while about the staging and how it looks. And there's been a couple of times where she's mentioned that maybe you can name it this or maybe you can name it that or something. I mean, do you think you can do it this way? Do you think you can do it that way? It's decent enough, questions to ask. I mean, because our disciplines, Sophia's and mine, are very different, but they're both means to an end of expression and storytelling in and of themselves. One is a physical format. Another one is a physical, more three-dimensional format, which would be Sophia's acting and performances. Me is one of sequential and another type of visual formatting, like you're watching a film, or at least a storyboard of a film. And but the way that Sophia tells a story and I tell a story, they may be different, but they're also the same. And every once in a while, I ask her something, and it benefits. So yeah, any type of input from Sophia I get, I welcome greatly, because she's seeing it objectively with different eyes.
Yeah, exactly. Right, and also, I mean, of anybody out there, this is somewhat her book too. It's the only other person I look at and go, this is hers a little bit. This is yours.
Well, no, it is hers a little bit. It is. I've made sure of that. I've made sure of that. I make sure that every single time that I post anything, if I post any art pertaining to this or anything, the one thing that I always do and I always will do, and I always have, is that it's like, if I put down the credits of what it is, it's like, let's say I post this on Facebook, and I go, here's the cover for issue 2 of Incantessi, written and illustrated by Rich Perotta. The Incantessi created by Rich Perotta and Sofia Broccani. She gets credit. Do not worry.
Always.
She absolutely gets credit. She truly does. And every time I go on any type of podcast, if they ask how, like one person will ask me, how important was Sophia's contribution to this? And I go, instrumental, because she asked me to do this. And for some strange, uncanny reason, this idea was always in my head. It was almost serendipitous. Yeah. And the first thing that I did when I thought of, making this into like something that I was going to publish myself, the very first thing that I did was I asked her permission if I can use her likeness, because to me, her likeness, whatever her likeness is or anything, it fits. It makes this book. It does. It truly does. The way that she is, her physicality, her expressions on her face, her face is like Jim Carrey, an Italian, prettier version of Jim Carrey. She's very expressive. I mean, she tells a story just with her facial expressions, and it's riveting. And, I mean, the way that she is and how I presented the character, it's her. Oh, yeah. It's really her. And it's just trust and verify, my friend. This person is considerably responsible for this book. I mean, I do the writing and the art, that's mostly me. No bones about it. It is my thing, quote unquote. But without Sophia asking for that particular commission on that particular day, I would not. If I was to be destined to have a podcast with you, it would be with something entirely different, and chances are I would think it would suck.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I was going to use like one of my outdated, early '90s, late '80s extreme character, stupid poopy heads, and it's like, yeah, we're going to destroy everything, yeah. And it's like, I would have used one of those instead of what I really consider one of the greatest things that I've ever, thought of or put together in my entire life.
Yeah.
We're almost done. Done. I'm gonna leave this up, the title up here, because I'm tired.
No, it's all good. I'm gonna show you a couple of things I tried.
Please, let me see. I want to see a storm. Let me see a storm.
Okay, so tab number 2.
Well, there we are. Good job, man.
Yeah, I went to a different picture. I didn't do this one very well. I tried. I really tried, but I'm not there yet. I'm just not there yet, and I'm okay.
But the fact that you want to start over and you know that there's something that could be improved on, it works. It says wonders.
And
your faces have gotten better.
Yes. No, I've been working. For me, it's always about the face, because the face tells the story.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, and your face tells the whole story. And I figure, like, if I get that nailed down, the rest will inevitably come. Hey, Ravenous Loki, Lordy, and MGB. Yeah, no, I'm cool, but I'm really good at being interactive too. Last night, I had a comedian from Los Angeles actually come and crash the show. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. So I ended up, me and my guest ended up answering questions about Canada for a little bit. So,
Nicely done, man.
So, yeah. So, Mr. I'm sad we're gonna have to cut this a little shorter than we normally do.
No, that's totally fine. It's now 6:30. We started a little bit after 5. Like I said, I'm butch. I have no issue like saying goodnight because I'm tired.
Okay,
just turn the camera on a bit.
So, but go back to you, and we'll wrap up real quick. No, I'm glad you guys enjoyed the show. I really appreciate it. It's like I said,
I'm glad. I'm happy about that too. Thank you. Thank you for enjoying. Thank you for like participating and showing up at like this gig, man. It's like I said, Josh. It's always a pleasure. Whenever I'm here, it's always a pleasure, man.
Yeah,
and we have to do this again with a couple of pints of Guinness down our gullets.
We do.
We have to do shots. We must do shots.
Totally. But here's the deal. Let me get my shit together before the next one. Let me figure out where this all goes. And
take your time. There's no rush.
Yeah. And when I get my shit together, no, dude, definitely. No. I've already done it. Like Chuck Pinot was a guest. We did like shots and metal. Like one night, that's all we did. We drank shots and just listened to metal on my show all night. It was.
Dude, my God. Okay. Yeah, we have to do that when you're ready and when you can.
Yeah. Give me a few weeks to figure my shit out. When I figure it out, we'll do it. But dude, that looks great. I can't wait for book 2. I really, really enjoyed book 1. And for everybody else out there, Rich. So hold on, we got one more. Can I show? I'm gonna do something really cool before we disappear, and that's I'm gonna give everybody a little fun little preview here, if that's okay with Mr. Rich.
Yeah, by all means.
Yeah. So here's a little preview. So, right, that's gonna be coming very soon. Yeah, no, Chuck is cool. I love Chuck. He's one of my.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I like him.
Yeah, he is. I call him the Where's Waldo of comics, because every time I end up reviewing a comic, I look at the editing credits and he's there. It's like you're like, well, he loves I call him that, the Waldo of comics. I'm also jealous of his earbuds. His pink earphones are like, I'm a little jealous. I'm not gonna lie. But that all said, yeah, Rachel here, the Incontested book, chapter 2 is coming really soon. Yeah, exactly. Like, he is everywhere. Right? He is absolutely everywhere. And honestly, I love the guy. He's a great dude. I love his show. His show is really good. But to everybody here, Rich is going to be doing the Incontested Volume 2, Chapter 2.
Yeah. I gave you the link for the Kickstarter. It's in pre-launch. Take a look at that.
Yeah, I put it up on Twitch, so people can actually click on it right now. So that's why I asked if it's okay to show the little preview. You said sure. It's like, that's what I gave him. So that's what's coming up. Where it's going to be book 2. I'm going to personally get involved in that as well, because I really enjoy that. But to everybody else, thank you very much for being part of this show. This was a very fun drink and draw. I unfortunately have to figure out my destiny the next couple hours. Tonight, I'm going to be a guest on the Ragin'. I don't know, man. I can't say it right. Nita Lanning and Meredith Logren's show. I'm their guest, so it's going to be kind of fun.
Dude, give me the link. I'll take a look.
Totally. I know. When it's up, I'll totally.
I love Nita. She's awesome.
Yeah, no, Nita's hilarious. Yeah,
she is hilarious.
Yeah. And then for everything else, follow my Twitch channel if you haven't already. Click the follow button. My YouTube channel is Joshua Pantellaresco. It's Poetry Month. Check out Alice Zero. I got some really cool things coming up on that. Rich knows already, but to everybody else, it's actually really cool. Check it out. Yes, and to the rest of you guys, thanks for watching. Stay inspired.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Keep shining in the dark. I'll see you guys next week. Until then, peace.
Peace out. Thank you.